I'm going to start to honor your time. If you're here live, if you're here on the replay, thanks for taking the time to watch the replay. I hope that this is as encouraging to you. Hi, Lindsay. As it was to me when I kind of walked through this for myself. So if you're in my team, I did a live about this. If you're with Nikki or Andrea or Christina, I'll just give you like a super brief backstory here. But there was this man, his name is Eddie Wilson. This is his book, The Titan Doctrine. But this man came and spoke at our church, and he's a very successful multimillionaire, owns, sells, buys, manages hundreds of companies, like just hugely, hugely successful in the business world. But his true mission is to spread the gospel through his business. So he was just an amazing, amazing man. So he said a lot of things that resonated, and he actually did a business dinner at our church for business people in the community. And it was just fascinating. So I'm going to share the story that he told about Foot Locker. And we're going to talk about what that means for our business and an idea that I have for you guys and how I've already started it for myself. And I hope that this is what's going to take us through the rest of this year and into forever. So he told a story about Foot Locker, that over the years, Foot Locker steadily declined in sales. And we're in a business, we want to make money. We want to sell products. We want to change lives. And so they were losing business to like Shields and Dick's and the bigger standalone sporting goods stores, because Foot Locker just sells shoes. So they were really like in this critical moment where they needed to figure out what was happening. So they looked at all the stores across the United States, and every single store was losing money quarter after quarter except for one. So they went to that one Foot Locker and they're like, what are you doing that you're having in these sales that are going up that the rest of us are not? So they found out that the one thing that they were doing was measuring everyone's foot when they came in to buy shoes. So what Foot Locker did was they bought the shoe measuring things for every single store in the US. They bought 40 per store, and they trained the staff and told them, measure every foot. It doesn't matter if somebody walks in and says, I've been a size 11 for my whole life. You're going to measure their foot. And it's that extra customer service, because you're going to tell them, I know, but people's foot sizes can change over time. And we just want to make sure that you're getting the right fit and the perfect fit for your shoe, yada, yada, yada. Well, what happened was their sales increased 1,800% just by changing that one thing. And they found out that if they didn't measure somebody's foot, they made a sale 30% of the time. But if they did measure their foot, the sale percentages increased to over 90%. Massively huge. Like that was their one thing. He told another story that I'm not going to tell, but it was about bricks. And so in my team, we were talking about what is the brick in our Norwex business that I could, tell any consultant anywhere to do this every single day forever, and it would change their business and revolutionize it. So what we came up with and what we decided is that customer care and follow-up. Now, if anybody has a different idea, I am totally open to hearing it, but I'm gonna go with that for tonight. And maybe there's something else. Maybe your business has a different brick or a different shoe measuring thing. But for this, what we're doing tonight, we're going to talk about following up. Now, everything we're going to talk about is nothing new. We've been talking about customer follow-up since day one, but the spin on it, I think, is going to be new. So then Mr. Eddie Wilson went on to share with us in Sunday school 7 habits that he created for himself in 2021, and they're really good, and I will share the other 6 with my team just randomly. But the one that really struck me was his 3rd habit, and he based it on Matthew 6:27, and that just is the verse that talks about we can't add any more time to our lives. We all get the same amount of time. The amount of time you get is the same amount of time that I get, and we spend it how we spend it. So he felt like, so for his habit, his habit was first things first. When you sit down to work, what is the very first thing that you do? And that should be the most important thing. Every single day with intentionality, we need to be doing the important thing first. If we do the most important thing first, naturally in sequence, everything else falls into place. And so this is what we were talking about with our brick. What's our brick? What is the one most important thing that if I sit down to work, I'm doing this first every single day? And so we came up with that customer connection, that relationship building, that it's intentional. Because I'm going to be honest, I talk to my customers, I message them, and I communicate with them in texting and Facebooking and emailing and phone calls. Like, I talk to my customers all the time, but there's no real intentionality behind it. If I plug them into my follow-up on Project Broadcast, my 222, 612, like 2 weeks, 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, 12 months, I never think about it again. I don't know what they ordered. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of that's on autopilot, or some of it's just really random and scattered, and there's not an intentionality behind it. And so he was talking about, like, most people, when they sit down to work, they scroll through Facebook, they check their emails, they respond to text messages, they maybe answer a couple phone calls, and you might do a lot of things before you get to that one important thing. But I just had this vision of, oh my gosh, what if every single person on my team and Nikki's team and Christina's team and Andrew's team, what if we all every day for the rest of 2021, which is 52 days, can we make it a habit in 52 days if you don't take any days off, if you commit to this? And if every day we sit down and we're committed to doing certain actions with our customer follow-up, what would our business look like come January? Come January, when things start to slow down, when they feel like everybody's like, woof, we feel like January is a slow month because people aren't spending money. They just had all the holidays. They've been traveling. They're tired. We're all getting into the new year and resolutions and all of that. And it's winter time and it's cold. So everything feels like it stops. But if we committed to doing the one right thing every single day first to the end of the year, then it's becoming a habit for us. What will our businesses look like at the beginning of next year? And what will we have done service-wise to our customer base? So I'm going to let Nikki take it over, because she's going to share. She feels like her gifting really is that relational customer building. So I want her to share some things that she does. And then I'm going to come back with some practical tools, and how this can look for you guys for the rest of the year. So I'm going to mute myself, and then Nikki, I'm going to give it over to you.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. Thanks for hopping in tonight. Okay, so yes, when Kelly spoke, the quick couple stories she said about first things first and what's the one thing, and I loved the historical New York story. I totally love that. Doing something at 80% is better than 0 at perfect, and I am a big proponent in that. And sometimes we overthink things, but I do believe that follow-up has always been I've been good at that. Clearly, I like hospitality. I like having people in my house. I'm very much an introvert, but I like having people in my house. I like posting things. I like helping people. It is something that I like to do. So that was easier to me than some of the other parts of the business. It made sense too. The follow-up was like, well, they already have my product in their hands. Like, we all know this product sells itself. So it's just my job to make sure they know how to use it. And this is back 11 years ago when, we picked up the phone to make sure their stuff got there, because nothing was labeled. It was just a bunch of microfiber in a box, and you need to make sure that everything came in a party. There was no direct ship. So you really served your people that way. And I'll tell you, because I followed up, and Belinda Ellsworth was the one that told me to do it. And it was I'm one of those, like, what are the steps? Okay, tell me what to do. Okay, I'll do that. And I did what Belinda told me to do, and it changed my business. And so she's like, you got to follow up. So I just did. And I took her verbiage and I just did it. But then, everything's hard till it's easy. I got better at it, and I genuinely got to know these people. And I still have people over a decade later that only order from me. So, I think the follow-up piece that Kelly was saying, like I think customer service is huge, like customer care and customer service. Like people like to feel served. People like to feel good. So this isn't even necessarily like these can be life things, because after everything that went on before pandemic and how fast life is, and how fast life was moving on social media and everything, you were able to just like touch so many people and you're like, oh my gosh, I can reach so many people. I can reach so many people. And we're just trying to get this amazing product into as many homes as we can, which is of course what we want, but it doesn't matter if they don't know how to use it. So then you get into like pandemic and we're like into like isolation and people, and like all of a sudden I think people really realized how connected we were digitally, but how disconnected we were from our hearts, let's say. Like how many real relationships there were that we had I think that really opened a lot of people's eyes, right? And so I think people are longing for that. And so I feel it when I'm talking to people at vendor events or whatever we're at. So I just want people to know that customer follow-up is more of like getting to know the people that are supporting you. And this can be beyond your business. Like if you're a casual consultant or you're trying to get going again, like be authentic and be genuine. The sales will happen. We all know Norwex is awesome and you can serve them in different ways. This is building relationships. So Kelly's going to have tactful things and ways to do this. And I have some ideas too, but I just want to get this whole mindset of like, this is you just like being a good person. Genuinely caring for people. It literally customer follow-up, because I was so good at it, like right when I started, because somebody told me to do it. It's easy to just go to another party and sell some more microfiber because it's awesome and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna make this much money at a party. Okay, and so if you follow up, you might make an extra $12 on a basic set or whatever. But then all of a sudden that person that you're following up with is actually gonna come back to you for their $250 order that they're placing for their Florida home or whatever. But you need to make sure they're coming back to you, and they're going to come back to you because they know you, because you're taking care of them otherwise. You help them with any issues they have. They make sure that they're loving their $40 product. I'm a friend first and then a Norwex gal, but my friends know that I'm a Norwex gal. All right. So it's great to build those relationships and to be the friend first. I 100% believe with that, my whole heart. But you also have to know, if people don't know if you can provide Norwex for them, whether you're a casual consultant or an active consultant or, whatever your mindset is around that, you can't help them. And you're actually just serving them more than yourself in the long run. Okay. I will be honest though, I do need to do it daily. I'm excited for the daily challenge. Like Kelly said, at one point, it takes 60 days to, or whatever it is. Like I'm excited for the daily thing. To just keep that accountability in there. Acts of service is my love language. I don't know if anybody's read that book, but it 100% is. So this is why it's something that comes easy to me, but that consistency piece is a part of it. And one thing to keep in mind is that motivation gets people going. Okay. You're going to be motivated after this call, and you're going to be motivated after you get this follow up from Kelly, and you're going to be like, I'm ready to go. And that gets you going, but it's the habits that keep you going. Okay. And customer service carried my business when I was having baby number 4 and baby number 5, and then a husband that worked nights, and I couldn't get away from the house easily with 5 small children. It was just so stressful for me to try and leave the home for a party, where I would just schedule parties one day a month, 2 or 3 of them, and then I would do a vendor event once or twice a month. That carried, and then everything else, my sales to get my jacket title and to make my income, was all follow up, because I took care of my people before. And then when I could do it again, when your ebbs and flows of your business, and all of a sudden I was ready to party again, I was able to go back to those people that I had already been helping for so long and be like, hey, I'm ready to do parties again. Jacob's a little older. We'd be one of my first. I'm a little nervous. I haven't been in somebody's house in a long time. And those people like me. I'm not just some person that's coming up to them being like, I want to start my business. Will you help me? It's like genuinely, they're like, yeah, no, that's fine. I'll invite a couple people over. I want to have wine with you, whatever. So, let me see. And I do like that Norwex genuinely like is a service business. Kelly talked about time. We are giving people more time in their life. But whether it's, not having to do the crappy cleaning stuff that is stressful, to be able to spend more time with their families, or more fun doing holiday stuff, or anything, she talks about you only have so much time in a day, and everybody has the same amount of time, and that's 100% true. Something that resonated with me today when I was listening to something in a podcast was that successful people, rich successful people, they buy time. And that might sound a little weird when he said it, but like if you put it in perspective, it's like they buy time by delegating, by hiring a cleaning service, by hiring a lawn service, by hiring somebody to do the grocery shopping for them so they could do a relationship part. You're not building a relationship while mowing your own lawn. So if you can hire the neighbor for $20 to shovel your driveway or mow your lawn, if it doesn't give you joy, if that's your like me time, then go ahead and mow your own lawn. I get it. It was hard for me to give up lawn mowing. I actually like it, but if that's not for you, let the neighbor boy make some money, and you can go build some relationships that's gonna make you money later. Okay. Like I said, I just want to remind people to be authentic and genuine. Don't be like, oh yeah, and like make something up. Go through their feed, or well, if somebody just went off to college, or they've been in college for a little bit, like, hey, how's Abby liking the new dorm or whatever? Be genuine, but have those small conversations on a follow-up to build those relationships. It's really easy to figure out what's going on in people's life right now. I heard your dog was sick. Be empathetic. Be like, oh my gosh, I heard your dog was sick. I remember my dog was sick. It was so stressful. Are you okay? Like, there are ways to relate to people's life, even if you're not in the same spot in life. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I have friends of all ages in life, down to the, high school kids that I clean for that are friends of mine, I would say, that I can chat with, all the way up to like my mom and dad's friends, and it's because you genuinely care. So let's see. All the stuff I bought, I've never got followed up on. Oh, that's one thing to keep in mind. Everything I have, like, seriously, all the direct selling, this is a way to set yourself apart. We all know it's easy to sign up for direct selling and to start a direct selling business. It's awesome. There's no brick and mortar. It's low risk. It's low investment, all that stuff. But what will set you apart from all the tens of thousands of consultants that are out there, Norwex consultants or anything else, is how you treat these people after they purchase from you. Especially now, anybody can go online anywhere and buy a product that they want, or go to a vendor event just this weekend. And my sister told me I had to have this. Okay. I'm following up with that sister to thank her for the referral and for the gal that bought it, because she doesn't know what she's buying. And the last thing I want is for somebody to buy $40 rags they don't know how to use, because they're not going to be happy about it. But I mean, 31, tastefully simple, pampered chef. I mean, I have all these things listed. I buy all the time from the people that do my business. I try really hard to support it. I will tell you, I've been followed up on 0 times. Like, I use the example all the time on my personal team. Like, I have a special seasoning that I love in certain companies. I'm like, it is consumable. Anytime I'm invited, I'm like, I don't need anything else from this company, but I love this seasoning. So I'll order a couple of those. I'll order 2 or 3 of them. If I ever saw somebody order 2 or 3 like rescue gels, I'm following up with that person because clearly they want the rescue gel. Okay. So anyways, I guess, and the other thing is customer service makes people feel special. It makes them feel served. If you're ever in a high-end thing, it's always considered high-end because they're serving those people. If you think about like all-inclusive resorts or cruises or certain restaurants, or it's because of how they may have good food, they may have good rides, they may have some good entertainment, but it's how they felt when they interacted with the people that were there. So if you make people feel special, and I don't want you guys to be overwhelmed about it, be like, it just needs to be this extraordinary experience. Just think about how you like to be treated. Just think about how you like to be treated, and just try and go with that. The last thing I ever want people to think is that I took their money and run. Like, oh, I made my money from them. Now I'm moving on to the next person. Like, it will hurt my heart if anybody ever thought that. So it's kind of what I kind of keep at the forefront of my mind as I'm like working my business. But yeah, so I had some ideas of things to do. I don't really know what Kelly had listed, but like I do things like search the cleaning paste and who ordered it. And then I send them a graphic of all the ways to use it, search anybody that, ordered the wand, and then I'll send them my dusting wand video and be like, make sure you know how the nooks and crannies they can get into. So they're getting maximum value for a product that they purchased. If it's consumable, then I always follow up 4 times a year with my mattress cleaner people. Because if they're not using their mattress cleaner, they're not going to reorder it. And 3 to 4 months will fly by in a second, and all of a sudden it'll be 6 months, and they could have used it twice. Okay. So those are easy automated follow-ups that you can do after you've built those relationships too. But another thing too, like Kelly and I were talking about a little bit in Messenger, of like, sometimes the world is very noisy and overwhelming. And we talked about, first things first, and what's the one thing, and that kind of thing. And I do think, like, you know what, like, get up in the morning and talk to God, ask him what he wants you to do that day. He might, like, really, and then you got to listen. We talk about the noisy world, and I'm always in a podcast. I'm always thinking about the next thing I need to do, or who I need to pick up next, or what school form I might need to fill out. But I think the world is missing that quiet time in life. So if you just wake up, and it's kind of similar story to the Eddie referral that Kelly was talking about, but another successful Christian businessman said, how do you do it? Like, how are you so successful? And he's like, I really have no idea what I'm doing. And they're like, oh yeah, right. Everybody always says, I don't know. It just happened. He's like, no, really. I just get up every morning and I spend an hour or two with the Lord, and I just ask him what he wants me to do. And then I do it. I'm like, man, that's great advice. So I do my best to implement those things. Far from perfect. we are all far from perfect, but don't forget that quiet time as we're giving you these great ideas. Taking action faith without action is dead. But yeah, so those are my couple of things. And just to put that follow-up mindset of, like, you already have those people loving Norwex, or you want them to, like, just make sure they come back to you for the sale at any vendor event, any party, any random interaction, somebody on your business page, whatever. They'll get to know you, and they'll love, they'll happily, I joyfully give my people the money all the time, or give my money to people all the time. Like, I love those relationships. Like, my mechanic, the best guy ever. Like, I get a deal, he makes good money, he's quick, I'm reliable. Joyfully give him hundreds of dollars anytime I have car repair, because they're good people. So it's a win-win thing, and we can do that here too. So I don't know. That's what I got for you, Kelly.
That was great. Nikki, I was writing fast because you have some great ideas. And I just love that extra touch of, you ordered an EnviroWand. Here is my 48-second video of how to use it. Like, I don't do that. And I've been doing this for 6.5 years. Like, that's a great idea. So
Like, make sure they max out their value on what they got. Because then they'll be like, I need one of those for my RV too.
Yeah.
I need that too, or whatever. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing. So now I'm going to, what I'm going to do is kick you guys in the pants a little bit and show you some practical things. One practical thing that I have done, and I made this for you, I'm going to share the link. I'll give it to Nikki and Christina and everybody, but I made myself a tracker, because this is how I work. If I say to myself, I'm going to message 5 people a day or 50 people a day, if I don't track it in some way, then how do I know I'm going to do it? I'm not being held accountable to anybody. I can say I'm going to do it, but then if I start messaging people, did I message 5, or did I message 3, or did I message 12? And what did I say? So I have to have some kind of a tracker. I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen with you guys. Let's see here. So you can kind of see what I'm talking about. This is the tracker that I made, and it has day whatever and a little blurb for you to write what you're grateful for, because I really believe that having a grateful spirit changes your brain chemistry. That is science, and it puts you in the right mood to do your tasks that day. I put in some goal areas. I really think 3 goals is about right for a day. You don't have to have business and house and health and other goals. Just, pick and choose in there. But then I put 10 spaces. My goal is 10 contacts a day. You can have one is better than none. Always. You could have 50. I don't care what your number is, but you need to choose a number and commit to that number. And I'm going to kick you in the pants here in just a minute. So this is one resource I have for you. Another resource I have for you is a customer follow-up system. If you just feel still a little lost, you don't really know where to go, like this is something, if you're on my team and Team Summit, like this exists in the guides. I'll give this to Nikki and Christina. Like none of that's on there is new. It connects you to the resource where there's some follow-up information. I give you my project broadcast campaign for follow-up. And then there's information on Belinda's Power Hour that we talked about last month and that Nikki referenced just now. And then I'm going to throw up some graphics in my team page, and I'll give these to Nikki and Christina too, that just gives you some ideas. I kind of had to flesh them out a little bit. And now that I heard Nikki, I'm like, oh, now I can finish these up. But just some ideas for current customers, for your VIP group, and then your warm market. So that's what I have for you guys practically. But so I've been doing my tracker for 3 days. So this is making me accountable. Like, holy crap, I got to do this. And so I have already in 3 days, I've connected with 30 people. And what I chose to do was I went to October and I'm just going through my October order. So I'm just kind of working backwards that way. But I've already had somebody reach out to me and say, oh my gosh, thank you for messaging me. I don't know how to use this descaler that I bought. So I was able to send her my descaler video. And had I not done that, I would not have known. And she would not have messaged me. She would have spent $30 and just had it sitting under her sink, just like Nikki said. I've had somebody thank me for checking in with, like, I've already had very positive interactions. So that's going to be my challenge to you. Now, at some point, you don't always want to be in this nicey nice stage. Like at some point you want to move them from like, we're just having a nice conversation to a booking, a sale, or a recruiting conversation. But for now, for the rest of this year, our goal is to just have those connections every single day, no days off. So here's some kicking in the pants for you. I'm listening to the book. It's called oh my gosh, I gotta look up real quick. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say the name wrong. It's by The Miracle Equation. Can you guys see my screen here? The Miracle Equation by Hal Elrod. He also wrote The Miracle Morning. It's been very good. So this is what he said in this book, and he's quoting Jim Rohn. He says, the purpose of a goal is not to reach the goal. I was like, what? Tell me more. So he said, the purpose of the goal is to become the type of person who can achieve any goal by always giving everything you have, regardless of the results. It's who you become through that process that matters more than actually reaching the goal. And so you have to ask yourself, what if I stay committed and give it everything I have, regardless of my results? That's the type of person that you become and that you need to be to achieve all of your future goals. So by saying the words, I'm going to commit to this for the rest of the year, and then doing it, you, number one, become a person of your word. If you say it and then you don't do it, how many times do we lie to ourselves and we give up, or we skip a day or whatever? And then we are not even a person of our word to ourselves. So by having a goal and giving it everything you have, that makes you become the kind of person that actually can achieve your goal. So I hope that makes sense. So then here's my kick in the pants to you. That wasn't the kick in the pants. Eddie had his 7 habits, and I am going to share another one with you. It was his first habit. And this one I was like, oh, okay, Eddie, you're kicking me in the pants. But this was from Romans 14. And he said, habit number 1 is to be responsible for me. Like, I'm responsible for me and you're responsible for you. And then he got kind of hard, I feel like, in our society today, but he said, you need to take ownership of your problems in your life. He said, pointing at extenuating circumstances, even if they're legitimate, even if somebody's sick or you have something or somebody lost a job or whatever, even if it's legit, pointing at an extenuating circumstance never solves a problem. I will provide the trackers to everybody. So he says, pointing at extenuating circumstances never solve the problem. My circumstances are my problem. And by shifting that responsibility is when we start to actually change the outcome. So you need to be responsible for you. Like, I am responsible for me. I'm going to set my goals and be committed, but I can't do that for you. So you're going to have things come up. I always feel like Satan's just waiting around the corner, like, okay, she committed to this. Now I'm going to have the dog throw up and the kid get sick and the car break down. And I'm going to start sending distractions her way. But it's that extraordinary effort that's needed to reach our goals. Because if you don't reach your goals, that responsibility is something you have to take on yourself. So I think in our society, it's very easy nowadays to be like, I just, you do you, we don't have to do it, whatever. But I think we got to like dig deep sometimes and push through if that's what you want, So anyway, I hope I'm not like ruffling too many feathers. We all have legitimate things. I totally get it. But at some point, like at some point we just got to like buckle down and do the hard things. Oh, and okay, sorry, I should have said this before. I don't want to forget to say this. If you're sitting here watching this far and you're a newer consultant or you feel like you're oh my gosh, look at this. Ladybugs are everywhere in my house. Go away. If you feel like your well is dry and you just don't know who to talk to or you don't have a customer base, you can do things with your warm market. So with your warm market, you're going to pick your 1 a day, 5 a day, 10 a day, whatever. And you're going to go down your friends list and start clicking on people's profiles that haven't done Norwex with you. And you're going to go to their profile page and you're going to scroll it and you're going to comment on their stuff. And you're going to send them a message like, hey, Sarah, wow, I cannot believe how big Susie's getting. Wow, that looked like a really fun birthday party. How are you? You're just going to start building that relationship. And then at some point down the road, not too far down the road, but a little ways, you're going to say, hey, I don't know if you knew this or not, but I do this Norwex thing. And I would love to, I don't know if you know about Norwex. I'd love to send you a sample. I'd love to have you in my VIP group just so you can learn some more. Like, would that be interesting to you? Like, could I do that? And you, because you have to start, like, if you want them for your business, you got to eventually say that. But that's going to be your daily mode of operation, is just scrolling down your friends list, messaging people in your life, starting conversations with them, showing that you care. And then when it feels right, you're going to ask them, are you open? Like, could I do this? And I'm going to tell you, like 9 out of 10 times, they're going to say, sure, that sounds great. That'd be fun. Like, they're not going to be mean to you. And if they are, then you unfriend them and they weren't your friend in the first place. So, so that is what I have for you guys tonight. I am so excited to do this with you. So there are literally 52 days left in this calendar year. I might be off. It might be 51. It might be 53, but it's something like that. And so if you guys are committed, like in the comments, please write, I am committed to this first things first, the first thing every time, every single day. I'm going to sit down and do this. And then tell me how many people you're committing to connecting with every day. I'm committing to 10, but like, I'm at a different spot in my business. Nikki probably could commit to like 35. That's what she's going to do. I've already decided for Nikki. And I will say, the more you message, the faster you'll have results, and the faster and the more you're going to impact 35 days. And so, here's the thing. So here's my, also here's my other tip for you guys. So my people, what I've done the last 3 days, and it's only been 3 days, but I have been sending them voice clips. I'm not typing messages. I'm not texting. I'm not Facebook messaging, but in Facebook, I'm sending. Yes, Heather, even on a day you have surgery, if you are just lying in the even on a bad day, if you can send one, that is something. But I've been sending voice clips. I'd be like, hey, Nicole, I see that you ordered those new sheep jar bells. Oh my gosh, those are so cute. I'm so jealous. They're already sold out. I didn't even get it. I'm sending her a voice clip, and then I'm saying, I just hope you're having a great day. If you need anything, let me know. And I'm getting responses like that. So send voice clips too, like just anything. I'm sorry, I'm kind of all over the place after I got excited there. Okay, so 51 days. Thank you, Tammy. I knew you would keep me straight. 51 days. And let's see, Heather is 5 people a day. Lindsay is first thing first. Yes, 5 a day. Naomi, 1 a day. Teresa is 4 a day, 3 a day to start with. Carolyn, I love that. I love that. And if you just don't know where to start, And you could, if you don't feel like, well, I didn't have anybody order in October, or I didn't have anybody order in September, just go to your back office, like Nikki said, and pull up a, search by consumables. Who's ordered UPP from you? And start there, like cleaning paste, who's ordered that, start there. So if you really are just stuck, if you just don't know where to start, please message me or Nikki or Christina or whoever your leader is, and we will tell you exactly what to do and how to do it. But that's what we're going to do for the rest of the year. Even on Christmas Day, I'm sending 10 happy holiday, Merry Christmas messages. Doesn't have to always be about business, but I'm going to pull my top 10 customers and I'm going to say, Merry Christmas, I'm thinking about you today, even on Thanksgiving. So, okay, that's it. Does anybody have any questions? If you want to have a question, if you're excited, yes, make sure they refill those sugar plums. Ooh, that's a good idea to look up your sugar plums from last year. If anybody has a question, a thought, a comment, please unmute yourself. Feel free to jump in. This is like open forum time. I'm excited. You guys, it is 9:00. It is not too late to message people. You Oregon people, it is only 7. You guys could do this right now. Like you're excited, you're pumped up, get off the call and go message your 5 people, your 10 people, your 35 people.
Hey, Kelly.
Yes. Hi, Heather.
Hey, I just wanted to respond. I know I had said something in the chat about a conversation that I just had this evening with a party host of mine. But she called me and she said, I just want to tell you, I'm so blessed by you following up. And you are changing my experience of online parties or virtual parties that I have attended. She said the last couple, not Norwex, but just anything. This happened to be a Pampered Chef event for her, where she was hosting, but the consultant that was leading it was kind of a ghost and was really bad at communicating and providing any ongoing value. And she said, I just can tell that you're so different. And I wouldn't have known this if I didn't agree to finally host a party. And she said, I am so, it might seem like something minor, but she said, I'm so jazzed that my guests are letting me know they've already heard from you when they placed an order. Wow. And that it's processing and it's on its way and that you're going to let them know when it ships out. Like just that you're doing any touch points with them. She was like, this is like next level follow-up. And this is making me so excited for actually going and finding and using Norwex items I have gotten from other parties that got stowed away because I didn't know how to use them and no one followed up with me.
And now you have a customer for life, a friend for life. And now she's going to be saying, oh my gosh, Susie, if you host a party, I will be there because that time. That's amazing. Yeah. What a compliment. Like that has to fill your cup for like the whole.
It does. And I know that it takes time. And especially like for me, I've been battling cancer this year and I feel like I'm trying to make a comeback in my business after many months of doing just about nothing other than supporting my buying club members. But it matters. It matters to connect with people, even if it's not about product. I mean, it is important about product sometimes, but even just connecting with people and being human with them, it truly, I think it just makes a bigger difference than I even realized. And so I'm excited to see what's going to happen because of forming habits like this.
Yeah. Good job. That's awesome. That's amazing. What a compliment. Like we need to hear that more often. Good job.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any other thoughts or questions or any questions for Nikki since she's kind of a pro at some of that extra stuff? Nikki is in our Team Summit Peeps page. So if you ever do have a question, you can just post and tag her or search her in the members and you can send her a message too. So, okay, well, I don't want to
You
take,
can find me. I can be one of your follow-ups and you can just like, I can count for one of your early ones. That'll be easy.
thank you. All right, well, we'll just go make this a nice short and sweet meeting. I'm gonna post everything in Team Summit Peeps in a guide. And then if you are under Nikki or Christina, I will make sure they have all that same information too. So, all right, have a great night, you guys. Love you all. Thanks for coming and let's get at it, okay? Good night, everybody.